Welcome back to the Shared Shelf. I'm your host, Shauna.
And I am Shawn.
Woohoo!
Today, we'll start with, what are you reading?
Great question, Shawn. I'm engrossed in my current read. I'm reading One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. It's a romance, women's fiction maybe, and I'm having the best time. I'm giggling and kicking my feet. What?
And how is it going?
It's going really well. I just told you that I'm giggling and kicking my feet.
Yeah, but I mean, like, are you moving along?
Yeah, I'm flying through it. I actually might be able to finish it today or tomorrow.
Sweet.
Yeah, which is, I haven't had a book fully capture me in quite a while.
Not even Jade City?
Well, I liked Jade City, but I didn't feel the draw to keep reading the way I do right now. But it's probably just where I'm at.
Yeah. For context, we were supposed to have 2 different groups of friends come over this 4-day weekend, and they all bailed for various reasons, not their own faults. But when you were reading Jade City, you were like away on vacations.
Yeah,
and
it was
like,
not a vacation
now
book.
You suddenly have a staycation.
Yep, very true. Labor Day weekend, I have nothing to do but read.
Sweet. No better way.
I know. And also, should I update my Jade City or give that later? So I did finish Jade City. I am landing on maybe like a 4-star or 3.75 star. I really enjoyed it. I loved the plot and the character building. I actually became quite invested in multiple characters of the book. I think where my rating lies, though, is that I'm just not an urban fantasy reader. So it was outside of my comfort zone for a couple different reasons, but it was still a very good read, and you were right to recommend it. And I know multiple of our friends are picking it up based on your recommendation, and I still think it's a fantastic rec. So,
Sweet.
yep, I will be reading the second one in the series at some point. I don't feel the draw to pick it up immediately after, though, so we'll see how that goes.
Love to hear it. I am going to finish up this weekend James Islington's first book in the Lacanius trilogy, The Shadow of What Was Lost. Definitely see like shades of The Will of the Many. I think it's a little bit too plot complex. I'm like not always sure what's going on, but I feel that way sometimes in fantasy. And the characters are a little bit shallower than I like, the investment in them than I'd like.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's a compelling story. I like his writing style, and I heard that this is by far the weakest in the trilogy. So
that's good
it only
news.
gets better from here. I tried to read Katabasis last week by RF Kuang.
Oh, let's talk about it.
I did not like it. I got it the day it came out, and I read it for like 3 days, and I got 100 pages in.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it. So
you slap the DNF sticker on it.
This is no spoilers. This happens like literally in the first or second page of the book. They go to hell.
Literally?
Yeah, they literally go to hell. And 100 pages in, they're still within like 100 yards of where they landed in hell, more or less. So like nothing happens, and she's just doing very dense world building, and the world building that she's doing is very influenced by real world philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just super, super dense. And it's just like essentially the first 100 pages were just info dump, and I didn't like the characters, and there was like nothing to really connect me to them. Also, there was like pretty big plot hole that like maybe I'm wrong about that, but like it just didn't make sense to me.
I would wonder if that plot hole wouldn't actually be a hole if you finished the whole book.
Maybe, but I don't really see a way. So this is like very, very light spoiler.
No,
skip ahead 30 seconds.
I don't know if we should be doing spoilers.
All right, then I won't talk about the huge plot hole, and we'll just move on.
No, talk about
it's fine. The plot hole was just that like very early on in the book, they're arguing about which map of hell is accurate, and like talking about different philosophers' studies of hell and this and that. And they're like, there's all this stuff about hell, but no one's gone to hell. But like somehow these 2 postdocs are the first people to go to hell, I guess. Or like the people who previously went didn't do anything there.
So the plot hole is like they have this evidence of what they should be looking for, but they don't actually.
It was just like somehow like all the previous study like is all theoretical, and like they're blazing the trails as the first ones. So it's just like postdoc. Like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me.
So it's very academic heavy.
Insanely academic heavy of like, I felt like I was studying this magic system for 100 pages and it just was not interesting. And it was at the point where like,
I feel like I would hate that.
I found myself being like, oh, I guess I should read a chapter of Katabasis.
You almost said Babel.
Yeah, it's kind of like the worst parts of Babel.
I personally found Babel to be difficult to sink my teeth into in the beginning of it because I thought it was very dense in its own. Like it had footnotes.
But Babel's nothing.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'd like.
So, but some people like it. It just wasn't for me. Maybe I'll try it again later. But 100 pages. I also think there's
I also think there's definitely a case for maybe positive reviews to be overinflated based on RF Kuang's fame.
I'm also, as I'm digging a little bit more though, I'm finding people who are like,
what the hell is this?
No, who are just like, don't like her style and some of the work she's done. Anyways.
It's interesting because Yellowface was very easy to read. I breezed through Yellowface. And then I haven't read the Poppy War series.
People are souring on that.
Really?
It used to be like, people were like, this is a hidden gem. If you love Joe Abercrombie, you'll love the Poppy War. And now people are kind of like, I don't think it's that good. I think it's overrated. But I don't want to bash on it. It's not for me.
Wait, Katabasis?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them? All of RF Kuang, but you love Babel.
Yeah, but I've seen some critical angles that I think are warranted.
It's kind of interesting because I personally like to read books with an air of not taking it too seriously. Most books that I read, but it almost seems like her approach is that she takes it very, very seriously. So then it kind of like switches the lens of, well, then people can critique it very critically and look at it through an academic lens too of like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like if she's doing all of this.
Yeah, but there's just also like a lot of like social commentary too that people have about it.
Okay.
But that's not my story to tell. Anyways, didn't like it. Not for me. I'm probably going to be picking up another new book this week to like take with me on my trip next weekend.
What book?
Either Monsters and Mainframes, or I also want to read The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. I don't really know what that's about. It seems like it's a journey story in a fantasy world, but people either say like, I didn't understand this book, or like, this is an absolute masterpiece. And I've seen a lot of those lately. But like, people are just like, this is such a great book. I can't say anything about it. You just have to read it.
That's a good review.
Yeah. I've seen a
few
of those.
Own it?
No. Or I want to read one of those two, probably. Monsters and Mainframes is like a traveling through space, just told from the perspective of the spaceship, which is interesting.
Oh, wow.
But like, Dracula's on board and he's killing all the
that sounds
people on the
loco.
Spaceship. And the spaceship's like, geez, I'm just trying to keep these people safe and this vampire's killing everybody. So,
damn.
We'll see. But that one's getting a lot of buzz lately, so I want to jump on that train.
When did that come out?
Later. Don't know. Earlier this year sometime.
Cool. I haven't heard of it, so.
Yeah. You will soon. All right. Today we are talking Everest Reads. So there is I guess, explorer, technically an author and social media personality, Colin O'Brady.
Wait, I know that name.
He's done different things, but like he's hiked Mount Everest. In his early days, he hiked Mount Everest and like started speaking about it and would go to schools and he would ask kids, what's your Everest? What's the thing that you want to accomplish? So I thought about this for books. What's your book Everest? What is the books that you are intimidated by? You know you're going to read eventually, but like you just haven't worked up the courage or the timing or the scenario situation in your life to be ready for it.
Well,
so get it started.
All of my Everest books are classics, and they're quite dense and somewhat have an air of being pretentious, which is why they're Everest Reads for me, because I don't know if it's worth the time and the energy and whatever. But I have a handful.
So tell us
think War and Peace and Anna Karenina by Tolstoy, both of them by Tolstoy. Those are on my shelf. I own them. They're incredibly thick books. Definitely want to read them. Another one is Moby Dick. I go back and forth between being completely intrigued by Moby Dick and then also not caring at all. So I also just feel like it's one of those books that when people read it, like they like get it. It's like, oh, you read Moby Dick, like you get it. You know? It's
No,
like
I don't get it.
you don't. Well, yeah, you haven't read Moby Dick.
We probably should say too, this was kind of prompted by we just rewatched Newsroom. Great show if you haven't seen it on HBO. But in that show, there's a lot of talk about Don Quixote by Miguel Cervantes, and that's one of our collective.
Yeah, we both agree that
Everest
is our
books
Everest book.
That like it just seems like it would be a great book, but especially how old it is, and that it's a translation, and that the prose can be a little bit dense at times, and it's like.
I suggested that me and Shawn read it together and take turns reading it out loud, and he shot that down immediately.
Like 6 to 12 months of my life dedicated to that.
Spent with me reading a book.
Yeah, but I don't want to be shackled to your reading schedule.
Okay. Anyways, other Everests that I have, I really want to read the Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer. Those have been, honestly, I've wanted to read those since like high school.
Crazy because I read them in high school.
You did not read them.
We read the Odyssey in high school.
There's no way.
I don't know what to tell you.
That is like absurdly. Are you sure you're not talking about college?
Yes.
That's like really dense for high school curriculum.
Smart kids.
We read like Old Yeller and Great Gatsby.
Yeah, that's not.
You read the Odyssey?
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess if you can climb it, I can climb it too. So those are mine. I feel like I had another one, but it's not coming to me right now.
So what's stopping you from reading?
Oh, Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky.
Stopping you from reading most of these? Just
I think the brain power that it's going to take to get through them. They're just written from very different times, and I think the translation matters. So especially for like the Iliad and the Odyssey, I did a lot of research on which translation is like the best.
And that's as close as you've come to reading.
That's as close. Yeah, I did a lot of research, and then I was like, okay, I guess let's wait another couple of years until I actually get around to it. I have 2 versions of the Odyssey right now on my shelf, and I've heard, like, I went down a Reddit hole, and there's a lot of praise for both of them. There's a lot of critique for both of them, so I just need to do it.
So what do you think will make you finally read one or all of those Everest books?
I think maybe boredom, like maybe like if I have nothing else to do.
So staying off TikTok and Instagram more?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, I envision those being like winter books. Boarding up the windows, lighting a candle.
I just need everybody to know we do not board up our windows in winter.
I just mean the vibe is like it's dark and it's cold outside. We both kind of hibernate in the winter. We don't go anywhere. All of our travel plans are always in the summer and then the off seasons. So the winter is like when we're not going anywhere. That's when I envision reading those. And when I say boredom, I don't mean like, oh, I'm only going to read these because I'm bored. I just mean like I don't have external factors that are drawing me away from it. So basically I have to be isolated and forced to. What about you?
So my Everest Reads are, the first one's embarrassingly small, Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk.
Oh.
It's like literally.
It's, yeah.
150 pages maybe.
Hey, that's one we could read together.
If you want to. It's very much like
it's psychological.
Yeah, deep philosophical novel, mostly targeted to men. I mean, it's all about men. But that's a book that I just have to be in the right mood to read, and I'll probably read in a weekend at some point.
I've heard people love it.
Yeah. And then I can say the book was better than the movie.
You've seen I haven't seen the movie.
How have you not seen Fight Club?
I don't know. Maybe just what you said is geared towards men. It's just never been something I've gravitated towards.
We'll definitely have to watch it because I want to rewatch it. I want to read. I have 2 Stephen King Everests, It and The Stand, which I think we have both.
You want to read it? I thought we talked about that. We both don't want to read it.
No, I want to read it for sure.
Hmm.
It's like people who have read it and like all of Stephen King's stuff are like, that is his best work. It shows his best elements.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing is both of those are same thing with The Stand. Like you either hear people say it or The Stand are their favorites.
Hmm.
They're both like 1,000 plus, 1,200 plus pages.
Yeah, I'm interested in reading both of those, but it's the page count. But I don't want to read it enough.
Count?
Yeah, and I don't want to read them enough for them to be my Everest reads.
Oh, see, I do want to read them very badly because I know that one or both of them will end up being like my favorite books of all time.
Really?
But I also like very much with Stephen King. I love his writing style, and I love like 2 or 3 of his books are like in my top 10 of all time. Some of the stuff he's put out in recent years is not the same style as some of my favorite stuff he's done.
Because he was off the rails.
No. 11/22/63 came out like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, but he started writing in the 70s.
Regardless, it's not the point here. My point is that I don't want to run through his entire catalog exceptionally quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I have the rest of my life to get through a finite amount of amazing work.
Have you read Cujo?
No, that's like also, but that also like, I don't know, there's like different styles of Stephen King and like, you know, the like almost magical realism horror, like Cujo, Carrie, Christine. Sounds lots different. Those don't really interest me as much as like Under the Dome, It, The Stand. I kind of view those as like different styles, but
okay.
Regardless. And then Terry Pratchett. So Terry Pratchett is a fantasy author who's known for writing incredibly funny stuff.
I know that name, Terry Pratchett.
So we have a couple books by him, and like people probably recommend it, but like his books are very funny.
What are you looking at?
I'm trying to find something quickly without the people knowing that we're buying time. I was hoping you'd vamp, but here we are with me vamping and doing the work.
I don't know how to vamp.
But Terry Pratchett is very funny, but there's like, I think 50 or 100 books it all takes place in the same universe too. So it's kind of, you can start wherever you want to, but like people have recommended starting places.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like an interconnected series?
Yes. So like this book that is, I think this is Brandon Sanderson or George R. R. Martin, some famous author's favorite Terry Pratchett book. Here's the synopsis of it. William DeWord is the accidental editor of Discworld's first newspaper. Discworld is the universe. Mm-hmm. Now he must cope with the traditional perils of a journalist's life. People who want him dead, a recovering vampire with a suicidal fascination for flash photography, some more people who want him dead in a different way, and worst of all, the man who keeps begging him to publish pictures of his humorously shaped potatoes.
What?
William just wants the truth. Unfortunately, everyone else wants to get at William. And it's only the 3rd edition.
Okay, that sounds...
So like irreverent, insane comedy.
How many pages is it?
That one is 450.
Wow.
So, but like that's the like synopsis of all the Discworld books. But I want to read them. I just haven't kind of gotten sucked in yet. I've heard you want to start with a specific book, Guards. I think I'm going to start there.
Do we have it?
I might even do that this year. No, I don't have. I've actually never seen a copy of that physical in person. Mm-hmm. Everyone's always sold out of it. My last 2, I want to read Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel.
Oh yeah, you brought that up last time.
It's like a series that's highly recommended, but I've heard mixed things on that.
Okay.
And the biggest thing I've heard is the way she writes is very confusing. She says he a lot.
He?
Yes.
H-E?
Yes. And people get confused by her writing style because she fails to use the name. And what I've seen from people responding to it is like, if you just understand that 90% of the time when she says he, she means Thomas Cromwell, the main character. It's easy to understand.
Okay.
But it's essentially like a politics, this lawyer, Thomas Cromwell, at court with Henry VIII or 10th or something like that.
Huh.
And then my last one is Middlemarch.
Oh, I want to read Middlemarch
George Eliot. We have that. We got like a weird edition from like a bookstore.
Yeah, it was a used book barn.
Yeah, but they had like 100 copies of this book, and it looks like it was like printed for a school or something. It's really weird looking. It's ugly. But I've heard great things from like people I respect who are like, oh, I read Middlemarch recently and loved it. I thought it was going to catch on, but it just hasn't.
Yeah, I saw, I actually just came across like an Instagram reel or something where people are being interviewed about their favorite books, and someone said Middlemarch, and I was like, we have that on our shelf, and I've wanted to read it.
Yeah. So I want to, that's like I believe it's about the rise of railroads in America at that time.
Yeah, I thought
so.
That
I
was
really have to be in the mood for that.
That's the winter.
No, winter does not give me railroads in the West vibes.
But you'll have nothing else to do.
Yeah, but that's not true. I'm very busy.
What?
Anyways, I was going to read The Stand this summer, and I was going to read it while reading something else. And then my something else was Jade City.
We know how that went.
Immediately put The Stand down, shelved it. I was like, I'll get to this eventually.
Yeah, and then you crushed the trilogy.
So something that helps me read books that I've been putting off for a while is even when I start a book, I'll watch a lot of reviews on it.
Oh, really?
Because
before you read it?
Before I read it, like getting ready to read it, or as I'm starting it, maybe I'm like not totally hooked, but I know I'm going to like it. So
that is so interesting. I don't do that.
The Shadow of What Was Lost, James Islington's book, the Lacanis trilogy. I like been putting this off since I read Will of the Many, and I know I'm going to like it. So right before I started reading it, I watched like 3 or 4 booktubers I respect why you should read or review videos and like hype myself up for it. And then when I first started reading it, I wasn't like, I actually stopped and started this book probably 10 times of like getting to different parts of it. And I was like, it's just not doing it for me, or I'm not in the mood for this. And to keep myself going, I like kept watching review videos of people like, oh, I love this series. You
don't get worried that other people's reviews subconsciously will shape your perception of how you're enjoying the book?
No.
I don't purposely avoid reviews, but like I go into almost every book somewhat blind.
I don't do that because there's too many times where I've read a book and I'm like, I kind of hated this book. And then I read a review and it's like, this book was horrible. Nobody should read this book. And I'm like, I'm going to save myself a lot of time by...
Nobody should read this book.
So...
interesting.
The next thing I have is I want to do a book retreat.
What?
I want to do a book retreat. I want to do like a weekend away somewhere where like we don't plan to go into town or go to museums or do this and that, where we just like chill and read.
Oh my gosh, that's like my dream.
Yeah. So I want to plan a book retreat to like New Hampshire, Vermont or something.
And like stay in a cabin or something?
Sure. But like I don't want it to be like we're going to go do cute stuff in town. Like,
no.
we're just gonna read.
I would want to be like in an isolated cabin on a lake.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you had any interest in doing that.
Yeah, that's why I'm talking about it now on the podcast.
I know. You never told me that. It's like my dream to do that.
Yeah, I'm telling you now.
Okay, fine. We'll do it.
So we're going to do a book retreat. I wish we could have done it in Colorado, in Evergreen. That would have been
real nice.
Spot. But we'll do a book retreat. I also want to do... I'm going to do some book news at the end here. But I want to do some book unhauls. So if you're not familiar with the book unhauls, you want to give a very brief explanation of that?
Yeah. So an unhaul would be when you go through your collection of books and you find books that for whatever reason, you no longer want them on your shelves, or you're ready to get rid of them. You're ready to part with them. It could be because you hated them, because you realize you'll never read them, any reason. And then you just take that pile and you kind of like give it away, donate them, bring them to little free libraries, sell them on any sites, Pango, whatever. But it's the opposite of a book haul, which is when you're like excited about all the books you just bought and you're like, hey guys, look at my books. This time you're like, hey guys, look at everything I'm getting rid of.
Yeah. So we don't do book hauls. The only time we might have something worthy of a book haul is when we go to Savers.
I feel like I have done a lot of book hauls personally.
Yeah, but you don't really buy more than 2 books at a time.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
You can't call it a haul if it's 1 book.
No, I do a haul where I do it like in a month chunk. Like this is what I bought over the course of a month.
Yeah, I guess if you zoom out far enough.
If you zoom out far enough, anything could be a haul.
All to say, we don't do traditional book hauls of like go to the store, spend $150 on books. The only time we get close to that is like when we go to Savers. There's a really crazy Savers by us. We'll never tell anybody where it is.
Don't ask.
It for some reason has a massive book section, and there's high turnover. So there's always new stuff there. I think every time we go to that Savers, we leave with something.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so I'm going to walk you through.
Sean's getting his books that he's unhauling right now.
Unhauling. First is Fleischman is in Trouble.
Okay.
By Taffy Brodesser Ackner. Didn't know there was a test today. I got this from a Little Free Library, or maybe it was $1. It was a Little Free Library.
I don't even remember you picking that book up.
This is essentially a book about him and his wife separate. He's stuck with the kids, and he like needs to figure his life out.
Okay.
It's supposed to be very good. It was like very popular years ago. It's a series on Hulu now, but the first chapter is just talking about him like getting on Tinder, and for some reason, like now that he's divorced, like all these women want him on Tinder. So the whole first chapter is just like, women really want this guy.
That's weird.
And it just like was not an enticing hook to me.
It won the National Book Award. Oh, it was longlisted.
Yeah. Next is An Ugly Truth. This is a nonfiction book about Facebook by Shira Frankel and Cecilia Kang. I read like half of this book. I was on a big Facebook kick after I read Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams. Highly recommend that book to people. Although I will say it will make you immediately delete all of your Meta accounts. So only read that book if you're okay with either A, deleting your Instagram and Facebook, or B, feeling horrible about yourself for not deleting your Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
All to say, this book is like a inside story, ugly truth of what happened at Facebook and how they're all horrible.
I see exactly where you left off because there's a bookmark right in the middle.
Yeah. I'm very much a rabbit hole person, and
that's an understatement of the year.
Burned out of this Facebook rabbit hole after a few weeks.
Sean clutches onto a topic and he will consume anything he can possibly find to feed the interest of said topic, and then he kind of moves on to the next thing.
Yeah, so I moved on from that. I don't need to know more about it. I don't see a need to need this book ever again.
He also doesn't have any social media accounts anymore, which might be... Is that because of this?
Because of Careless People.
Okay.
Next is Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. So Robert Jackson Bennett also wrote The Tainted Cup, which is the green book on our bookshelf there, which that book has won a lot of awards recently. It came highly recommended from a coworker. People keep saying it's a great book. I do want to read that eventually. The problem is everyone's like, oh, it's like a very Sherlock Holmes mystery. Like, you know exactly what's going to happen. Just this fantasy world twist, and the characters are really good. And like, mystery books don't really do it for me, man.
Yeah.
But this is the same author. This is a fantasy world where like the magic is based on, they call it scriving, where you like essentially etch or emboss or write words to like enchant things.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't like...
Is it urban fantasy?
Yes. Okay. It's like urban industrial revolution time kind of.
The cover is really cool.
That's why I bought it. I bought it from our local bookstore one day. Got about halfway through it, and just like, I didn't find it all that interesting. And I think it's because the main character is like a young girl.
Oh.
And I find that like every time I read those books, I can't help but feel like this is like YA.
Okay. Oh, like someone who's young?
Yeah. And there's like actually rules about it, which I'll have to look up and share sometime, of like, if the character is this age, then it's for this audience. If the character is this age, it's for this audience.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get into it. The magic system, I didn't find it interesting. It felt similar to Babbel's magic system almost.
Oh, really?
A little bit with the silver. But all to say, I just couldn't get into it. I've heard good things about the book. I've heard good things about the author.
Have you read The Tainted Cup yet?
No, that's another one that like I've thought about starting. I've read the first chapter a few times and just couldn't get into it. So, but that's been sitting on our shelf now for a year. I haven't gone back to it. I don't see a world in which I do.
I wish I had known you were doing an unhaul. There's so many books I want to get rid of.
Well, yeah, your unhaul is going to be a whole separate thing. We'll probably do an episode just for your unhaul.
All right, you heard it here first. Turn it in.
Next, I have How the World Ran Out of Everything by Peter S. Goodman. So this is a book about the global supply chain. and how over the years, profitability for companies has driven us towards closer and closer to just-in-time delivery for everything. Like there is no warehouse with stock. That doesn't exist. Things get made just in time to get here and get to your door. And then COVID came along and broke everything.
Yeah.
And now they're realizing like, oh, wow, this is actually a huge mess.
It's a cool cover too.
It is. That's why I picked it up. I bought this when I was in Cambridge recently. Whenever I'm in Cambridge, I go to Harvard's Coop. They're like university bookstore. It's got like 3 or 4 levels
Such
of
a good
books.
bookstore.
It's an amazing bookstore. I love spending time in there. There's like a book about everything and every book you could ever want there.
There's also they have a sale section. They move it around.
You're thinking of the Harvard bookstore, which is different than the Harvard Coop.
No.
Bookstore.
No, the Coop has a sale section where they have hardcovers that are on sale. The Harvard bookstore, the independent bookstore, the basement is used books.
So all to say, whenever I go there, I go into Cambridge for something, I go to this bookstore and usually buy a book, usually a nonfiction book. But I read this book. It was very good. I don't foresee myself diving back into...
So you finished it. You just don't want to revisit it.
Yeah. I don't foresee myself diving back into the global supply chain anytime soon.
Was that another rabbit hole?
Literally that day, I was like, I wonder about this. And that's one of the things that I use AI for a lot is like, I want to learn about a thing.
Yeah.
And I'll put into Gemini, I'm interested in the global supply chain and global economics is what I think I said. And like kind of how it works and that kind of thing. And it gave me 10 recommendations of books. Wow. So I was like, oh, which one is on the shelf here? Pull 3 or 4 of them out and then like read the first cover, the cover in the first chapter and see which one I'm interested in. So I do that a lot for books.
Cool. I need to start doing that.
I do that a lot for books too with like vibes where like I'm interested in like, I want to read a Lord of the Rings style found family quest book that was written between these time periods and is only this long. So like it can help narrow in and it'll be like, oh, try these 5. So I've done that before. Next Unhaul is Surveillance State. So it's about China's quest to launch a new era of social control. This has been on my TBR since like 2016.
Whoa.
And I finally found a copy. I don't even remember where we found this, but it
looks like you must have bought it online. Maybe on eBay?
I don't know. But
it was discarded.
Super cheap. But I never read it. And now this book it's only a few years old. I thought it was much older than that. Actually, I thought this was much older than that. I may not unhaul this now. I thought that there's a different book about the Chinese surveillance state.
He tucked it nicely underneath the pillow so he doesn't unhaul it.
I have to double check because there's another book about the Chinese surveillance state, which is like 10 years old and very similar cover. So maybe I got them confused.
Yeah, don't get rid of that one then because it's probably still somewhat up to date.
Because that's what I'm worried about. It's like, 10 years ago.
Yeah, it wouldn't really be accurate
Chinese
anymore.
Surveillance state. Yeah, it's evolving like day by day. You want to talk about this unhaul of yours?
Yeah, I got this sent to me from the publisher. Its title is Confrontations by Simone Atangana Bekono. I know I'm saying that incorrectly, but I tried. And I don't even know what it's about. I needed, honestly, one spot on the bookshelf for another book that I had bought. And it only would fit if I removed a book. And so I just picked one on the same row that I wasn't going to read. So I don't even know what the synopsis is. Shawn's going to do a really quick read through to give us a brief blurb.
Someone serving in a juvenile detention center, 6-month sentence for a violent crime she did commit but does not regret.
Okay.
She's meeting with a psychologist.
I don't love contemporary fiction, so I think that's why it never called to me.
Raw and sentimental.
And I've actually stopped receiving books from publishers. Like I've gotten a lot of books from publishers, and pretty recently I decided I'm going to stop accepting them if I'm not 1,000% going to read it. This is one of the ones that I probably shouldn't have accepted, but I did. And even though I'm looking at the back and it has some pretty good blurbs.
So I just wrote about this on Reddit to somebody the other day. I found out recently that book blurbs don't mean that an author read the book.
Oh, really?
Some authors will blurb books without having read them.
Why?
it's a friend or the publisher asked them to.
And so when they're really vague
paid,
and they're just like...
So I now will only take into account book blurbs that specifically talk about this book. So if it's like Williams is a once in a generation talent, like that's about the author at large, or like Williams' prose never ceases to amaze. Like it's about nothing there says they read the book. If they specifically say like, let me grab.
Can you get up and get me One Golden Summer on my desk? Because I have a feeling it's blurbed by someone that says like Carly Fortune's writing is the epitome of summer or something like that. Let's see.
So this is the kind of blurb that I will respect. This is on the back of Dungeon Crawler Carl, and it says, "This series has no goddamn business burying so much depth and emotion and complexity under its bawdy, gory surface, but it does so anyways. What a wild ass and unexpected delight." Scott Lynch is the author who blurbed that. So that's very specifically saying, I read this book and loved these things.
That's so, oh my God, because, the back of One Golden Summer, it just says, and it doesn't even say like the person who blurbed it. It just says from the skim, "All hail the Queen of Beach Reads," which is very generic. And then US Weekly said, "There's nothing better than reading a fortune book by a body of water," which could be said about any of her books.
So I would venture to guess, if you tracked down the source of these quotes, they're not about this book. They're probably just about the author that was like written.
Totally. Oh my God, I had never known that. Where'd you learn that?
It was in like some booktuber's video.
Well, we learn something new every day, don't we?
But all to say, don't trust book blurbs. All right, a little bit of book news for you.
Book news.
So Denmark is, like everybody, realizing that like less and less people are reading.
Yep.
And they are cutting sales tax on books. So in Denmark, if you buy a book now, you're going to pay 25% less. They're tax exempt.
Oh my goodness.
To like entice people to read more.
That's going to entice me to go to Denmark.
And get
Danish books. They have English books there too.
I don't know. Like in Amsterdam, it was much less.
It was a little harder.
Widely available than I thought it was going to be. So
they did have like a couple, like they would have sections that were specific for English. But yeah, there were a lot of Dutch books actually that I would have wanted, but can't read Dutch. So
yeah, not yet.
Not yet. Probably not ever.
The last thing is I think it was a Wall Street Journal article that I read just this morning. So this woman and her friends wanted to write a romantasy book.
Yeah.
So they wrote this romantasy book, Dire Bound.
Okay.
And they wrote the book. They self-published it on Kindle or whatever. And within 90 days, because of how people consume romantasy content, and I don't know if it was in like the Kindle Unlimited program, but I venture to guess it was. Conjecture. But within 90 days of releasing this ebook, they received a 7-figure publishing deal.
What the beep?
So,
oh my God.
Just like it's interesting because in one respect, I think that traditional book publishing needs to make changes. It's mind-numbing, like how formulaic and outdated they're still doing things. But at the same time, especially for the romantasy subgenre.
The romantasy subgenre is huge.
Well, it's just, especially for that subgenre, they just don't know what they're doing. So like they just like look at TikTok, see what's trending, look at bestseller lists, see what people are reading, and then like just throw money at it.
Yeah.
Look at like Fourth Wing's a perfect example. Like
for sure.
Just throwing money at a thing and like, people like this thing. I want to buy the rights and adapt it. Let's put it out there. Then we'll make more money. Like they don't know what to do.
Literally the timeline of how the Fourth Wing series books were published is
suspicious.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, it's
allegedly.
It is absolutely absurd how fast those books came out. There's no reason that those books should have come out as fast as they did.
But it's in general though, like we're starting to see publishers picking, like Dungeon Crawler Carl is a good example of like, they see something getting steam, they want to get in on the money.
Yeah.
So they say, we'll give you a deal to like mainstream hardcover publish this, which is great for authors that are like trying to make a name for themselves. But it's just for like the consumer aspect. I think sometimes the product can be like there's great authors who are just not getting any attention because no one's screaming about them on TikTok. And then there's people who are just like getting 7-figure bags thrown at them because an author doesn't want to miss a boat.
We need to bring back as a community waiting for things. Why on earth did those 3 Fourth Wing books have to come out in as quick a succession as they did?
I think though it's money, number one. Like obviously it's money.
No, I know it's money, but we need to it sets up an expectation that like now all hot romantasy books are going to come out that fast, and it's just like.
But I also think it's like it's very dependent on the author, because if you look at an author like Brandon Sanderson,
Stephen King writes really fast.
Brandon Sanderson and Stephen King are probably 2 of the fastest writers I've ever seen. Of like Brandon Sanderson, he's releasing 2 or 3 books this year.
Yeah, but no offense to anyone else. Those are 2 authors that are heavily experienced and have honed their craft.
But the other thing is, it's just like writing styles. Because look at, I think Andy Weir's a good example, the person who wrote Project Hail Mary and The Martian. He's released 4 books now, maybe 3 books. 3 or 4 books over the course of his life. And Project Hail Mary came out a few years ago, and The Martian was a few years before that. You know what I mean? So like, and Patrick Rothfuss is another example in the fantasy realm.
Mm-hmm.
His first book, like, what do they call it? Debut novel? Debut novel, Name of the Wind, was amazingly well received and is like immediately among some of the fantasy greats.
Whoa.
But it's supposed to be a 3 or 4 book series, and he's been working on that final book for like a decade.
Oh my gosh.
And look at George R.R. Martin, the creator of Game of Thrones. Like that's what
I first thought of. Yeah.
So like it depends on the author and the style. And at the same time, like, you don't want to rush people into writing stuff before they're ready, because like then we get books that are like flops.
For sure. I don't know. It's an interesting, I think that the book community and like the trend of, you know, anyone can kind of write a book now and throw it on the internet, and then from that get a traditional publishing deal. It's unprecedented. It's crazy how it.
So 2 things here. I don't want to get too much into AI talk. Mark Lawrence, who's a fantasy writer, well-respected. He runs the self-published fantasy blog off. Essentially, it's a competition, like a book award competition for self-published fantasy. He ran a very unscientific experiment where he gave readers 2 short stories and had them vote which one was better. Mm-hmm. And far and away, the AI written one won. We're also in a place now where, you know, Daniel Green just did a video on this whole Audible controversy the other day. Essentially, you can write with ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever your AI is, prompt it to create a book for you, upload that to Amazon, get it converted to an audiobook through their like Kindle program. And, you know, maybe this took you 2 hours and you just pumped out a novel
that you're going to be getting royalties on.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And we are seeing more and more and more and more of that. And I don't see a way in which it decreases, and you can't really screen it out.
Well, it's like you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Yeah. So I think that we're going to see, I think it's going to be rough for a few years, but we're going to see the book industry and publishing change a little bit, because they're trying to find new ways to do things. Because like book marketing is rudderless right now.
Yeah.
Big book publishers don't know what to do, because it used to be just like throw money at this and like press releases, but like now social media, that you can't capture that. So all to say, I think we're going to see some changes in the coming decade.
Well, you know, this entire conversation makes my skin crawl. Ugh.
All right. Well, with that said, let's go get some sushi.
Okay. It's lunchtime.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.